Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Pokemon Legends Arceus. We're still going through the first main area, but we caught a lot of Pokemon, including some alphas. Huzzah! Also a Pikachu, because we ran into one. Those are rare spawns in the area it's in, so.
I think the game.
Hold on, wait. Is Pikachu even like? I mean, I know why they do it, but
I mean,
was
Pikachu's
Pikachu
always
even
been
in
kind of a
Sinnoh?
hard
Yeah.
Pokemon to find. Like in Gen 1,
Okay.
it's a rare spawn in both Viridian Woods and I think the power plant too.
No, it was common in Power Plant.
No, it was common in Power Plant.
Okay. So
You just,
it
had
was
to wait.
rare in
You just had to
Viridian.
wait till close to the end of the game to get it. Then.
and I think you can't even get it at all in Gen 2 without bringing it up. Hold on.
I want to
Route
say
2,
that's the
yeah.
case.
Oh, you have to wait until post game when you go back to Kanto in order to get it, and it's in Viridian City, and it's a 5% spawn. Yeah, it's only in the Safari Zone in Gen 3. You have to wait until post game in Gen 5. So they've always made Pikachu hard to get.
Pikachu even manages to be an annoying thing to catch in yellow version, because even though they give you one, it's one that refuses to evolve. So if you want that fucking Raichu, you have to go and catch one yourself.
No, that you
Bastards.
can't.
Which you can't do in yellow because there's no other Pikachu.
So
at
you
the
have.
end.
Yeah.
So at the time, your only other options were red and blue, which had the rare Viridian Forest catch or the late.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to be an extra deck about it, you can transfer that Pikachu to red and blue, evolve it to Raichu, and bring it back to yellow. Although you won't have Pikachu follow you around anymore.
I didn't even know they let you transfer that Pokemon.
Yeah, no, there's nothing.
Yeah, because
stopping
at the
you
end of
from
the day,
doing it.
it's another. It's just. I don't mean to sound insensitive about this, but Pikachu is just another Pokemon.
Well,
at the end of
you
the
see,
day.
I was thinking about Koraidon and Miraidon from Scarlet and Violet, which they don't let you trade. In fact, they make you catch a whole second copy of them after the post game because, like, you need one to be able to trade between versions. But they don't let you trade the vehicle one because you kind of need that.
They don't let you just breed it to get another one, or
No, you get the extra one from the Area 0 after you beat the main game, and then
Oh, is it the asshole one?
yeah,
Oh,
they let you trade that one.
Fucking deserves it.
yeah.
But okay, so like I like the idea of there being a specific Pokemon in a given game once in a blue moon that you're not allowed to trade because it's kind of important.
They do that in Let's Go as well.
Yeah.
But Eevee and Pikachu can't be traded.
Yeah, I figured because you kind of need that for your HMs. So the moral of the story in this Pokemon adventure is that if you Pokemon want us to keep you around, you better make yourselves useful.
Munchlax, what are you doing?
What are you doing, Munchlax?
I forgot that they can. I mean, it worked.
Got certain foods just give them a stroke.
Yeah, he saw food, he forgot how to eat, and he got anxiety.
In his confusion,
That's one
I trapped him
That's
in
one
this
thing
ball.
I like about Legends Arceus and Scarlet and Violet is that the specialized Pokeballs are just, something you'll actually use.
Oh yeah, because you don't have to, frickin' run a marathon in order to get them.
Yeah.
And they also work. In Gen 2, fun fact, the multiplier you get for most of the special balls in Gen 2 is barely worth anything, and half of them don't even work. I think the Moon Ball, which is supposed to make it easier to catch Pokemon that evolve from a Moonstone, I think it's bugged in that it looks to see if the Pokemon is evolvable from, I think it's TM37 or something like that. Or an Ultra Potion. It says, can this Pokemon be evolved from an Ultra Potion? No.
What?
And so it just works like a normal Pokeball that you have to try harder to get. So they fixed this in the remakes, obviously, but
Although I will say the Pokeball always looking like the Pokeball you catch the thing in is both really fun and irritating. Because
when you I get really annoyed once, because in a typical Pokemon playthrough, you'll catch a good number of the Pokemon you keep on your forever team pretty early on. and then you'll like get to the mid game and get another one. So when you go to the Pokemon Center, you'll see like Pokeball, Great Ball, Ultra Ball, and then like one of the weird ones, and it drives me bananas.
In Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal, the Moon Ball is supposed to boost the catch rate of a Pokemon that evolves with the Moonstone. But it checks instead to see if a Pokemon that evolves with a Burn
Heal, that's what it was.
Since such Pokemon does not exist, Moonball never boosts the catch rate in Generation 2.
Oh, boy. They must have gotten the item ID wrong.
Yeah, that's it's the only thing that makes sense, but it's like...
What kind of Pokemon would evolve from a Burn Heal? Like, I wonder. Why does it belong to
A
Blaine?
Pokemon that is sarcasm themed.
you
a
better have
Pokemon-
Burn Heal. Why?
It's a fire type
Well, then he
Pokemon
just
that
can't
wears
evolve.
sunglasses and stands in a cross-armed pose, like, oh, and its attacks are all named after like roasting terms.
In Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal, the Fastball is supposed to boost the catch rate of a Pokemon that can flee. However, it only does this for 3 of those Pokemon: Magnemite, Grimer, and Tangela.
Wait,
What?
huh?
Programming, dude. I don't I don't make the rules.
So, if I'm ever having trouble catching that Grimer, I know what ball to use.
A lot of stuff in
in-
programming, especially when you're working with earlier like less user-friendly tool sets, would be identified in the development process by like identification numbers and stuff, variables basically. So it's not like you're developing things in RPG Maker and you're selecting things from a list. You have to have the correct ID number, and if you don't, shit gets glitched. And that's how the Burn Heal glitch happened.
Yeah, that you people do forget that we make jokes about Gen 1 being programmed with bubblegum and paper clips, but it's not really that far off from being the truth.
Not to mention, like previous future gens afterwards also have their share of issues. It's just that Gen 1's the most infamous one because it has the most.
It's not necessarily like something I'll give Gen 1 specifically too much grief for, because a lot of RPGs back in the 8-bit days were buggy. Fucking Final Fantasy with all of its spells that doesn't work.
Oh yeah, no, a lot of old RPGs barely function and have a lot of weird glitches. I know of a number of Dragon Quest glitches, Final Fantasy glitches, Pokemon glitches. I'm not as familiar with like Shin Megami Tensei glitches, but I'm sure they exist.
Are you just kiting around the guy as it escapes the Pokeball?
Alpha Pokemon, after they break out of 2 balls, will automatically aggro you.
Oh. I guess they did that to prevent that exact strategy.
Yeah, basically. And it's paralyzed. Huzzah.
Oh yeah, that is optimal catching conditions right there.
I have
Get
to say,
in the ball.
I appreciate that they didn't feel that the traditional Pokemon battle system was like untouchable in this game. They made some fairly big changes to it.
Yeah.
Abilities are gone, which like normally I'm not a huge fan of. Like I wasn't a huge fan of that in Let's Go when they got rid of abilities, because that was just a case of them trying to make the game simpler. But here I guess I get it because the battle system is secondary. But there's also the matter of there's the strong style, weak style stuff where you can sometimes like get 2 moves in a row, which is neat, and you get to see like what order stuff comes in.
Yeah,
and
it's kind of funny. They ripped off the Final Fantasy X battle system.
Is that how the Final Fantasy X battle system
Where
works?
there's this little scrolling list of who's going in what order off to the side, and it shifts in real time as you highlight different choices, because different actions have different recovery speeds. And
So like if Titus, whatever.
Tidus.
If Tidus has Thunder, but he also has Special Thunder, which has a longer cooldown time, you can see his in real time. You can see his next movement.
Yeah,
time
sort
to
of.
go like below Waka or whatever.
And there are also particular skills that are designed to either delay the enemy's next turn if you hit them, or speed up your next turn.
Quick hit, quick hit, quick hit, quick hit, quick hit.
Quick hit
It sounds
plus
like that's
haste
pretty
plus-
abusable.
Quick hit plus haste, and then have another character off to the side using delay attack.
So
Ten's
what I'm
battle system
hearing
is actually
is
very
that
good.
Final Fantasy X is all about making it so your opponents can't do shit.
Optimally, once you've reached endgame, although once you've reached endgame, at least in the international edition, all the super bosses are designed to make you hate yourself. So,
See, that's RPGs are really weird when you get to endgame, and I'm really conflicted on how I feel about them. In that, sometimes you feel like you have to find very specific exploits in order to win, and you can't just play normally.
that wasn't it. In this case, the international version's major end bosses were designed to give you something to do if you were one of those crazy people who decided to fill out the entire sphere grid with every character, which don't do it. Life's too short.
Yeah, the game I think of the most about this is Bravely Default, actually, because Bravely Default has the job system and whatnot. So, like, you're encouraged to mix and match. So, on one hand, I enjoy the puzzle solving aspect of, like, figuring out what the best, like, how you're supposed to beat certain super bosses and whatnot. On the other hand, it sometimes feels like it's not finding one of a couple solutions. It's like, find the broken thing and keep on doing that.
Was that ingredient important enough that you had to provoke an alpha Lopunny?
Yes. It was important to me, damn it.
Listen, he parkour dodged out of the way in time. It's fine.
Parkour dodged right into the sunset.
Yes.
Parkour dodge right off a cliff.
I mean, you can do that too and die.
Is there
Break
fall
your
damage
legs.
in this game?
Yes, there
don't
is
remember.
fall damage in this game.
Okay. I forget, when you die, you drop your bag and you have to pick it up, right? Dark Soul.
No, someone else has to pick it up and send it back to you.
Oh, okay.
That's how they do online connectivity between players in this game. It's not that bad because you're not really going to die. As long as you're playing reasonably carefully, you're not going to die a whole lot.
And
you don't drop everything in your bag. You just drop a few things.
So it's like Dark Souls if the people online were, a help instead of a hindrance.
I mean,
Yes.
Dark Souls is the Pokemon of RPGs, because Pokemon had you drop half your money when you died, originally.
Oh, a lot of games had you drop half your money when you died. It was kind of a standard game over penalty for games that didn't want to do game overs.
Well, because
Why is the Psyduck aggroing me?
he can't even see you. He's just angry. The fuck was that? Did he just T-pose for half a second?
I guess.
Well, a Psyduck can't really do anything but T-pose. It's a bit,
Doofy.
No, it's always in perpetual,
A
like,
pose.
when you're doing the YMCA, he's always the letter M.
Have you guys heard the YMCA boss fight remix?
No.
So they take the YMCA theme, but they shift it into a minor key instead of a major key. So it's like,
Right.
bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, young man.
Oh no! See, I heard something. I heard something similar to that, but it was contextualized as a Dragon Ball Z background
Oh yeah.
music.
So yeah, when Frieza's powering up.
When Frieza's powering up against Vegeta, yeah. Which, like, it does sound a lot like the Japanese
The
OST.
best
yes.
boss fight music remix is just that one track that you hear in every store ever during the Christmas season, where it's this orchestral Christmas horror theme.
Oh, like Green Sleeves, but horror music. I thought, you said Christmas song you hear in every store, and for a second I was thinking about the Mariah Carey, and it was just like, is there a boss fight remix of All I Want for Christmas Is You? And it's
Probably.
like,
Probably.
somebody has to seal her away every year, so it's got to play.
yeah, it's
during
what
that,
plays
right?
when she's fucking breaking out of her ice prison. So
Well, my point is that this particular track doesn't need a boss fight remix because it sounds like a final boss theme on its own. I have no idea why someone made that a Christmas track.
It's the final boss of Christmas. It's evil Santa Claus.
It's
from-
like
who the fuck is the final boss?
It's
like-
Santa
it's
from
like
Futurama.
It's like if in the Nightmare Before Christmas, Jack actually won.
Yeah.
I thought Jack did win in Nightmare Before Christmas. Like,
No, like he saw the importance of like being happy with what you got, but he wouldn't win. He got fucking shot out of the sky.
He got better.
Yeah, he got better, but he did
Well, I mean,
get
he
shot
was
out of
already
the sky.
dead.
Yeah.
He's fine.
But it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt.
He's fine. It'd be cool. Just reassemble him. Don't forget any thumb bones.
is Nightmare Before Christmas still like a Hot Topic staple?
Yes, actually, I had a friend.
Is Hot Topic even still a thing?
Yes, of course it is. It's like Spencer's, but less adult. Or Spencer's is Hot Topic, but more adult.
Is Spencer's even still a thing?
Spencer's is still a thing.
I actually like idly walked in there while I was on a trip with someone.
Okay. I haven't been to a mall in a long time.
You're not missing
So
much.
Well, yeah, that's why I don't go anymore.
Turns out that you know people were like, "Oh, let's hang out at the mall." Turns out, not much to do at the mall.
I'd actually argue like Spencer's and Hot Topic are really fun stores to just walk around in, because you never know what kind of weird shit they'll have on their shelves. And in Spencer's case, you can always go to the very back of the store if you get really bored and laugh at all the sex toys. But there's stuff like there was like a whole 2 big ass shelves in there dedicated to witchcraft, and I'm like, wow, really? This is the real deal.
I mean witchcraft has become like a bigger thing. I remember when I worked at the bookstore, we had like shelves and shelves of like witchcraft books.
It was like so much witchcraft, but also like paganism
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Has exploded in about like the last 10, 15 years from my recollection.
And I've read a few books more as a research topic because I'm an amateur writer than anything, and it's a really interesting topic to read about. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Okay, let's see. Scyther. This is one of.
Oh, it's a green flying.
No.
Has
I was about
Scythers
to
for
say
heads.
this is one of those Pokemon from Gen 1 that I just can't work out my feelings toward, because like part of me thinks, yeah, that's a really cool Pokemon. On the other hand, it turns into Scizor, which I hate, and
Yeah, I gotta say, kind of a downgrade in terms of its evolution. Like one of the earliest examples I had was like, oh, I actually liked you better in your base form.
You don't like his big meaty claws?
I don't. I always found like Scyther always struck me as a Pokemon that should have been at least faux legendary because it just has a very sinister looking design. Like I don't want to run into this thing.
Well, I don't think you can run into it in Gen 1. I think you have to buy it from
Safari Zone.
Oh, you can in the
No,
Safari Zone? I
Safari
thought
Zone.
you had to buy it.
Safari Zone in Pokemon
Scizor
Red.
is one of the earliest cases of them taking a Pokemon that they wanted everyone to like, but nobody used because of the type disadvantage, and trying to give it an evolution that gave it a buff, which I guess it did. Steel type
I mean,
was
I was
pretty
gonna
good.
say, in terms of actually using it, Scizor is a very good Pokemon.
Yeah, Scizor was a menace in Gen 2, because Gen 2 is a very defensive game if you're playing it competitively, and Scizor's defense is insane. So, you know, it's very good if you're actually trying to play the game, but yeah, the lobster claws, I agree, are not my favorite design choice ever.
Well,
I think
it's the lobster claws and the lobster coloring in tandem that do it, you know?
I just don't like how smooth he becomes.
Steel type.
Yeah, I get it, but it's also looks like a plastic toy.
Yeah.